Hello, we are on section 14.3, the declining balance method, which is a depreciation method. So the declining balance method is an accelerated method of depreciation. It's based on a percent, and so we take a percent of the book value, and it's a pretty large percent, and so it actually takes a large amount of depreciation in the very first year, and then of course pretty good chunks after that. So a lot of times you don't even end up depreciating all the way out to the end of the useful life. Also, this method uses up to twice the straight line rate. Well, the straight line rate is 100%. Okay, so straight line is 100%. So most of the time we're using 100% times 2 or a 200% depreciation. And so that's one of the reasons it goes so quickly. So I just said this, the accelerated depreciation takes more depreciation expense in the first year or two or three. It goes pretty quickly. And once again, we can't go below the residual value whenever we're using the declining balance method. So let's work on this. Okay. First of all, it's going to tell you usually that it's going to be twice the straight line. If it doesn't say that, just go ahead and use 200%. That's kind of our general one. It seems on most of the examples that I've found in this book. So twice the straight line means we're going to take a 200% depreciation and divide it by the number of the number of years for useful life. So we will be using 40% per year basically, or we're going to change that to a decimal, of course. So we have a truck that's $27,000, a residual value of $5,000, estimated useful life is 5 years. And then there's a lot of chart filling out here, so I'm going to start filling out. First of all, we're going to put in just the cost of the truck, and that stays the same all the way through this. So let me get that on there. And then the accumulated depreciation at the beginning of the year. So at the beginning of the first year, we don't have any depreciation. And then we'll fill this out as we go. The book value at the beginning of the first year is still the $27,000. And filling out all this information actually ends up to be quite helpful. Now, let's start this calculating. We're going to multiply our book value times 40% in decimal form. And so our first year of depreciation is going to take $10,800. You just simply multiply. So at the end of the year, it's that $10,800 that we take, and then the book value is going to be $27,000 minus $10,800. So our book value at the end of the first year is $16,200. And then we just kind of continue on. Now, the $10,800 is how much depreciation at the beginning of the next year, right? At the beginning of the second year, we still have only taken that much depreciation. Our book value at the beginning of that year is the $16,200. And then we're going to depreciate by 40% for the year, and that is $6,480. Okay, so the accumulated depreciation is going to be $10,800 plus $6,480. So $17,280. And we subtract the $6,400, right? Our depreciation for the year is what we subtract from the book value to get our new book value of $9,720. So you see, it's really depreciated already, right? We're down quite a bit in just 2 years' time. Okay, so the accumulated depreciation at the beginning of the third year is that $17,280, and our book value now is $9,720. That's what we're going to calculate on. So depreciation for this year is $3,888. And then we're going to add that to the 17,280. So now our depreciation is at 21,168. We subtract the 3,000 from the 3,888 from 9,720, and we get 5,832. Now I'm just going to stop for a moment. Our total amount of depreciation, I just want to point this out, is 27,000 minus 5,000. So the most we can take is $22,000 of depreciation, the total, right? That's the total amount we can take. Here, after 3 years of depreciation, we're almost to the $22,000. This is where you have to kind of stop now and think. Okay, also notice our book value is 5,832 and our residual value is 5,000. So hopefully this gives you a heads up that I may not be able to depreciate very much more on this vehicle. So we've got our total depreciation so far, or accumulated at the beginning, is the 21,168. Our book value is now down to 5,832. If we multiply that times the 0.4, then we get 2,333. And you guys, we can't take that much depreciation, and that's because we're almost to the 22,000 total that we can take and to the 5,000 residual amount. So we can actually only take $832 in depreciation for year 4. We're not able to take any more depreciation on that year. And so our total then will be 22,000 when we add that on, right? 21,168 plus 832. And then our book value has to stop right here at 5,000 because that's the residual value of this vehicle. So at the beginning of the 5th year, we have a total of 22,000. Our book value is 5,000. We don't need to multiply because we can't take any more depreciation. This is going to happen sometimes. Our accumulated depreciation is still at 22,000. And our book value is 5,000. I'm not even sure you need to fill out that last line, but that's what you would do if needed. All right, so that's kind of a lot to take in, right? Here's our next one, and we're going to do a little more practice. Leo Lucky, owner of a Pizza Hut franchise, bought a delivery truck for $30,000. The truck has an estimated life of 5 years with a residual value of $10,000. Leo wants to know which depreciation method would be best for his truck. He asks you to prepare a depreciation schedule using the declining balance method at twice the straight line rate. So once again, we're using 200%. Which we're dividing by 5 because our useful life is again 5 years. And then we'll start the process of filling out our chart. Okay, so here we go. The truck is $30,000. And remember, we're going to write that here in this column. Our accumulated depreciation at the beginning of the first year is, of course, is 0, and the book value is still at 30,000 at the beginning of the year. The depreciation expense for our first year then will be times the 0.4 because remember, it was 40%. I guess I didn't finish that. I was thinking that in my head. No, I didn't finish it. Also, I want you to notice that our total depreciation that we can take, I'm going to say total depreciation amount, is 30,000 minus 10,000. So we cannot take more than $20,000 in depreciation over the throughout this chart. And you'll also notice that I only put 3 lines. I left a little more space because I know that we're going to end up not being able to depreciate all the way to 5 years. Okay, so I'm taking $12,000 depreciation for year 1. So at the end of the year, that's my depreciation amount. I am going to subtract that from 30,000. So this is $18,000 for my book value at the end of year 1. The accumulated depreciation at the beginning of year 2 is $12,000. The book value now is $18,000. And we're going to multiply that by 0.4, which is 7,200. Now we add that on to get the accumulated depreciation of 19,200. And notice we are almost to, write that in a different color. Almost 20,000. So we almost depreciated all we can, right? When we subtract 7,200 from 18,000, then we get 10,000. No, I've been trying just to write the dollar signs at the top so you don't have to write so many of them. And then our accumulated depreciation is 19,200. Now, it's true you wouldn't really have to multiply, but I always like to double check. Make sure that I can't take this amount of depreciation. So when you multiply, you actually get 4,320. Kind of knew that was going to happen, I guess, really. So I can't take that much, but I can take $800. Now, where did that $800 come from? Well, 2 places. I know I can see 20,000 minus 19,200 is 800, or notice 10,800. Remember, my residual value is 10,000 and I can't go below that. So I get to take $800 in depreciation this time. My total depreciation is 20,000. And that's all I can do. No, and you see I didn't even put the rest of the chart on there because I didn't feel like we would need that. This is the residual value. And if you did go ahead and subtract out that $4,320, then you would be way below the residual value for your book value, which is against the rules. You guys, you can't go below that. So that's kind of your stopping place. So that is declining balance method. On our next video, we have the last method, and it is called makers, which we'll talk about on the next video.